ACC Network Basketball, presented by Subway. And today it takes us to Raleigh, where NC State hosts Florida State in the first ACC Hoops game of the new year. And with that, we say Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for spending some of it with us here at PNC Arena. Debbie Antonelli, Drew Carter on hand, and Debbie, NC State looking to break a 4-game losing streak. One guy they can lean on to help them do that is Darion Sebron.
Well, you know what you're going to get every night, right? When Darion Sebron shows up, he's here to ball. He can score, he can rebound, best offensive rebounder in the ACC. He leads the team in assists and steals as well. He is a downhill driver from any spot on the floor against any defender. And he also is a terrific finisher in the open floor.
He's a guard leading the league in rebounding. That almost doesn't compute. Leonard Hamilton's Florida State Seminoles playing for the first time in 18 days. They had 3 straight games either canceled or postponed due to COVID-19. Tied for the longest layoff since 1955-56 when they went 18 games without playing. For Coach Ham, though, Debbie, it's status quo. They're not changing anything they do today.
Now, this is a couple of things here that NC State has to do, though, Drew. They've got to be really good in their pressure package. Dribble entries, high post entries, ball fakes, shot fakes against a team that leads the league in steals and also is one of the top shot blocking teams in the league also.
2 teams that play extraordinarily hard. We are underway in Raleigh. And there he is, Darion Sebron. Folks, if you haven't seen this guy play yet this year, you're in for a treat. Jarrett Cole Helms averaging more than 15 a game. Can't hit on his first attempt.
Both these teams play man-to-man defense.
Anthony Polite with a lefty stroke. He's playing really well as of late, and he draws a foul on his first drive.
Florida State is outstanding at skipping in transition, switching sides of the floor, reversing the ball, and that's when they try to get you on a closeout. Anthony Polite is one of the more veteran players for Florida State.
A 76% foul shooter this season. The 24-year-old out of Lugano, Switzerland.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Drew. He's been playing really well. The last couple of games, he has been in double figures. He had a big game against Lipscomb in the last one with 25 points.
That was a career high. It happened 18 days ago, though, as FSU comes back from this extended COVID pause. A little change in the starting lineup for the Wolfpack. No Cam Hayes in the starting 5. Instead, it's Thomas Allen, who's got the rock now, fires and hits. Good start in his start.
And Thomas Allen coming off a big game. He had 13 on the road at Miami in a loss. But he shot it well, and he's finally starting to put the ball in the basket. So that's a good sign for NC State for him to make his first shot.
Malik Osborne tees it up. It's a rare sight. Can't hit the open look. He's shooting 50% from deep coming in. Sebron, head of steam, right to the rack. NC State with the pressure, knocks it out of bounds off of Helms, stays with the Seminoles.
Now check this out right here. You need no words on this one right here. Florida State doesn't pick him up in transition. I think that's a total of 3 dribbles up the floor and the finish at the rim.
He is long, lanky, aggressive. And the defense is aggressive for the Wolfpack. Caleb Mills is double team. They got to get it over the timeline. John Butler had it knocked away by Allen. 20 seconds on the shot clock. It's a 10-second violation.
You know, I was here at practice yesterday for NC State, and I'm telling you right now, the energy, the effort, the intensity, and how locked in these guys were. I thought Kevin Keats and his staff did an outstanding job getting the team ready to play, and they've carried that over here early.
It's a team desperate for a win on a 4-game losing streak. Last time out Wednesday at Miami. Here's the freshman, Terquavion Smith. Can't hit from the corner, but an offensive rebound for the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Sebron is fouled. Butler swatted it away, but Sebron fouled on the floor.
Darion Sebron is so tough to contain in the quarter court. He doesn't need much space and just a little vision to the rim. If he doesn't see 2 hips, 2 shoulders, he's gone.
He's a 70% foul shooter this year. And he's a great rebounder, Debbie. I mean, he's listed as a guard. He's 6'7", and he kind of sets the tone for an NC State team that just attacks the glass.
Well, I think having the ball in his hands early in the game is one of the things that Kevin Keats is planning on. He did have 6 assists in the Miami game. He can get anywhere he wants on the floor. Trying to keep him out of the paint is challenging for every team that plays NC State.
Little spurt for NC State, 7-0 run to take a 5-point lead here at home.
NC State will switch in their man-to-man, something that's new and different they worked on yesterday in practice.
Butler fires from the corner. Smith the rebound. Why do you think they switched to that?
I think because E.B. Dewana can guard 1 through 5, and when you have players that are about the same size and you lack that shot blocking presence, you've got everyone about the same size, you can switch.
Helms fires. Mills the rebound for FSU. We're going to see a lot of switching today, both teams.
Because Florida State switches also. It's a great coaching move by Kevin Keats to change up the way they're guarding.
Gave up 91 points in that loss at Miami Wednesday. The game they led late in the second half. Caleb Mills for 3, that's pure. Caleb Mills finding his footing after transferring from Houston.
So, you can't be late on a closeout if you're going to switch. NC State is switching to contain. They're not switching to steal. There's a difference. You do that later on in the game after you try to get into some sort of rhythm with your defense.
Quavion Smith, the true freshman. Sebron to the hole again.
I mean, come on. Hips and shoulders by the defender. So long and so active. 5 times he's been over the 20-point mark.
This is aggressive defense from NC State. Polite working on Smith. Senior against freshman. And the crafty runner won't go. Smith has it for the Wolfpack. Attack mode still for NC State. Batted away, Osborne has it.
Really good recovery by Florida State defensively off the steal to be able to get back and get a stop.
Mills stepped on the end line, called by Ted Valentine. Part of our crew with Bert Smith and Jeff Pond today. Sebron has been the story so far for NC State. He's got 6 of their 9 points. Some wholesale subs for Florida State, nothing new.
Well, and Cam Hayes getting his first appearance too. Now, I think one of the reasons why Kevin Keats wanted to bring Cam Hayes off the bench is because he just wanted to give the young man a chance to take a look. He hasn't been playing well in the last 4 games. And this gives him a chance to take a look at how Florida State is defending it and maybe come in and not get the ball stuck in his hands.
Good ball movement. Sebron, that's good. Darion Sebron, love it in 2022. Matthew Cleveland, the freshman, pulls up, left it short. Osborne tracks down the offensive rebound.
Now these are, as you mentioned, the 2 top offensive rebounding teams.
Another freshman, Jalen Worley, is fouled on a block on the attack. He will shoot when we come back. Darion Sebron, 9 points, carrying NC State. ACC Network Basketball is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway. Back here in the Oak City, where they dropped a gigantic acorn instead of a ball to celebrate the new year. And Darion Sebron, pretty good in 2021, might be even better in 2022.
Well, he's even assisted on the only basket that he didn't score on. Yeah. So he's had a tremendous impact on NC State's early start here.
Sebron, a guy who's 4th in the league in scoring, 1st in rebounding, and we've already seen that unrelenting motor here against FSU. Jalen Worley, the true freshman out of Philadelphia, is on the scoreboard for the Seminoles.
Florida State picking up full court pressure off the made free throws.
Trying to find some answer for number 1, Darion Sebron.
Now remember, Florida State always goes deep into their bench. They play 9, 13-plus minutes.
Sebron on the kick, and it's a charge. Good team defense from the Seminoles.
That's the way you got to defend him. See, he sees there's 3 black jerseys in the paint. And he leaves his feet. It doesn't make a play off 2 feet, so he's not on balance. And Florida State draws the first personal foul on Sebron.
We'll keep an eye on that. Obviously crucial to this NC State team. It was Mills who drew the charge. He's got it now. Gives it to Cleveland. Wyatt Wilkes feeds Osborne for the slam.
And you got to be on the help side, at the help line. If you're going to play the kind of pressure defense that NC State is playing, especially the way they're switching, you got to make sure you're there at the midline for help. So Florida State, same thing. They'll switch. They're up the line.
Casey Morcell, lots of airspace, and he takes advantage.
Casey Morcell is a player for NC State that needs to get it going offensively, but he can get it going with his defense. He's their best on-ball defender, according to Kevin Keats.
Cleveland's pass out of bounds, not touched by NC State, goes the other way.
Great slip by Malik Osborne to the bucket, and that's a 2-handed flush. It's not going to be easy in the paint today. You're going to have to be able to make plays off 2 feet. You're going to have to power through contact. And for NC State, they're going to need to ball fake in there.
Sebron takes a seat. He's got 1 foul today. And 9 of their 14 points, plus an assist.
I want you to keep your eye on E.B. Duana, number 21 in white for NC State. He has really improved over the season so far. He's had to learn by getting reps in games, but he's getting better.
Hayes on the kick, Smith for 3. Rebound Evans.
But Cam Hayes did his job right there. He got into the paint, he made a nice read, he stuck the ball in the shooting pocket, and Terquavian Smith isn't going to miss too many of those.
Polite, that's good. Anthony Polite with that pure lefty stroke.
I got to say, Anthony Polite is probably one of my more favorite players at Florida State, just because he has stayed and worked at his game. His dad played at Florida State. He loves the Seminoles. He'll continue to add to his game. He's a tremendous team player and leader for Leonard Hamilton's team.
Jericho Helms is fouled down low by Cameron Fletcher after the great find by Cam Hayes. And you got to love what Kevin Keats did with Hayes, because he's really a pure point guard, Debbie. So coming off the bench, he can kind of run the show.
Well, it's just a great slip by Helms.
Hey, folks, coming up after our game, Buddy Boeheim in Syracuse hosts Virginia at the Carrier Dome right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Buddy's averaging about 19 points a game. He's really fun to watch work off the ball. So good in their screening action offensively.
It's funny how he seems to really know that Syracuse offensive system
He knows it pretty well.
Yeah, all the Boeheims do. We got a good one here, though. 2 teams trying to heat up as they enter a new year. Raekwon Evans. Fletcher stepped on the end line. 4 turnovers for the Seminoles already.
You know, and a really good defensive effort so far by NC State. They really seem connected in their switching man-to-man defense.
Cleveland knocks it out of bounds for Florida State. Are you surprised at all that they look so connected already?
Not after watching them practice yesterday, to be honest, Drew. I mean, I think the switch to switching their man-to-man defense and the way they're guarding Florida State has really helped give them some energy early. You got to find easy ways to score against Florida State, so you got to get some easy opportunities off your defense.
I'll just say this, I hope there's plenty of Gatorade at PNC Arena today, because both these teams were picking up full court. Both these teams were very aggressive switching on defense. High intensity game already as Evans with the steal for FSU.
That's a tremendous read right there by Evans.
Looked like Deion Sanders in his FSU days.
He has really worked hard on his body to be able to be durable and be able to play a lot of minutes. play quality minutes because everybody plays about the same amount of minutes.
Right. Fletcher stepped out of bounds again. 5 turnovers for the Noles. FSU, a team that was picked second in the ACC preseason. It's their highest preseason ranking since they joined the conference. Hot start, but still trying to figure some kinks out here.
Well, it's a system that works for Leonard Hamilton, and everybody plays. You got to play hard. You're going to get minutes. You got to be able to defend.
Cam Hayes on a strong take scores it for NC State.
That is an excellent job by Cam Hayes. Play through some contact.
Here's Naheem McLeod. The 7'4" center uses the size. Hayes to Morcell. Hayes against the 7'4" McLeod. Back to Morcell for 3. Foul on the rebound, and it's against Polite.
Cam Hayes, coming off the bench this afternoon, has done a great job in his minutes. How about that play right there to give the Wolfpack a slight lead?
When you think about identities for teams in the ACC, there aren't many stronger than Florida State's defensive identity.
I mean, look at these defensive fundamentals. They work on them all the time. Switch 1 through 5. They front the post, high hands on the catch. And you got to know your personnel. And Malik Osborne anchors that defense, really playing out of position at the 5 spot. When we talked to him the other day, he said, chemistry gets it done for us. We know we're going to have some adversity in the game, but we can rely on our defense and our fundamental habits.
Right on cue, they force a turnover, leads to a bucket for Matthew Cleveland, back to a 1-point game. FSU leads the league in steals per game, over 10 on the season.
Well,
they've got a couple today already.
You know what, Drew? It's about ball pressure, so there's a nice slip by Helms.
Working on Worley.
Florida State does such a good job of loading to the ball.
Hayes fires straight away.
And see, that's an area right there, Drew, where Cam Hayes gets stuck with the ball on the top of the offense in a late shot clock. Has not been when he's been his most productive. See, that time he's got to look to drive instead of pulling up for a jump shot or try to get in a gap and kick. I think those are the things that Kevin Keats would like to see his sophomore point guard do a better job of. Reading the floor a little bit better, being a little bit more aware of time and score.
Our officials taking a look at that last play. Bert Smith, Ted Valentine, and Jeff Pond. Every rebound is going to be a dogfight in this game. 2 best offensive rebounding teams in the country. See Jericho Helms hit the deck here. He's the guy they called the foul on, number 4 in white.
Yeah, I think they're going to monitor to look and see if that was a hook and hold, and there's a potential to upgrade this. You know, I think the hook and hold, like, we don't see him going to the monitor very much anymore, right? That has been eliminated from the game, but here's the hook and hold rule, which they can upgrade this to an F1, and I think they're going to.
You ever utilize the hook and hold, Debbie?
I never went in there to rebound, Drew. Are you kidding me? I'm out here shooting it. I'm coming off a screen. I'm not worried about rebounding.
There's no one to hook and hold out there. Just a common rebound foul against Jericho Helms, but it is his 2nd personal today, so the senior from St. Louis takes a seat.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to move that up. Good news for Helms, it's just a common foul.
Jalen Gibson comes in to replace him. There you see him at the top of your screen, number 11. Freshman on freshman here, Worley against Smith. Feeds McLeod. 7'4", up high and down hard.
So when you're playing a switching 1 through 5, Gibson, you only switch in the middle third if it's necessary. That did not need to be a switch right there. And great execution by Florida State in the middle third to lob it to the rim. You got to guard Sebron with 1.5. Means you guard yours and half your attention is on Sebron.
He'll make you pay with the dish. That time he finds Smith for the 3. Sebron with a couple of assists to go with his 9 points. Fletcher pulls up and answers.
Yeah, NC State has dipped in their intensity just a little bit here coming off this last timeout on the defensive end. See, in Florida State, when they can score, they apply that full court pressure. You're not going to get an easy transition bucket. They're so hard to score on when their offense is going.
Smith again. That's pure. Terquavion Smith can catch fire. That's happening here in Raleigh.
Well, he is bouncy. He is electric. He's very skilled.
Fletcher just knocked one down. Now he steps in and airballs the mid-range jumper. FSU had hit its last 6 shots. That one didn't even hit the rim.
And getting E.B. Duanin back on the floor. I think he's a tremendous communicator on the backside of their defense. He's really coming on for Kevin Keats.
He's got big shoes to fill. Manny Bates out for the season. Dislocated his shoulder under a minute into that season opener against Bucknell.
And look at the 7'1" freshman John Butler trying to guard Sebron full court.
Sebron goes by him and is fouled by McLeod. That's a tough assignment.
Yeah, it's a tough assignment for anyone. But to watch John Butler move his feet like that, when you let Sebron get past that first level and into your secondary defensively and you put pressure on your defense on the back row, he can put up some fouls on the other team. He can start mounting some fouls and get to the line.
Hey folks, don't forget we've got a great women's college basketball matchup for you tomorrow. Number 3 Louisville against number 16 Georgia Tech. Coverage starts right here at noon on ACC Network and the ESPN app. That's going to be a doozy of a game.
Yeah, 2 really good defensive teams. Georgia Tech and Louisville both with wins over Connecticut already in the non-conference. Conference play is going to be great in the ACC on the women's side also.
Can't wait as Caleb Mills attacks the tin.
So explosive.
Hey, we were talking about Caleb Mills pregame. I said he's a bit of a flatliner, doesn't seem to get too high, too low. He just let out a scream.
Yeah, and I said he's getting ready to have a big game.
Allen, floater, a little too strong, gets his own. A lot of energy in this building. You consider it's winter break still for NC State. Hayes for 3.
I'm not sure about that shot selection right there by Hayes. That's a much better shot. There you go. Terquavion with 3 triples in the first half.
Terquavion Smith finding the rhythm in 2022. Double comes on Polite. Finds Butler. McLeod is there on the stick back. That rim's going to be bruised by the end of the first half.
That thing's still shaking.
Naheem McLeod has now tied his career high with 6 points, and it's a travel and a turnover against NC State.
The rim is open. The last 2 plays have been dunks. This is a great finish on the offensive glass. Well, the last couple of weeks, Terquavion Smith has been the Rookie of the Week in the ACC. He's made 3 triples already in the first half. He is going to open up some space with his 3-point shooting range for Darion Sebron to have more room in the paint.
Terquavion Smith trying to go into double figures for his 7th straight game. He's at 9 points already on those 3 threes. I think you really hit the key there. Darion Sebron, he had 6 assists, a season high last time out at Miami. He's got 4 already.
I think he is the most dangerous player on the top of the floor for NC State. Now, Darion is dangerous anywhere on the floor by himself, but for the personnel, that's where he can make the most damage for the Wolfpack. Cleveland
tried to punk a dunk down as John Butler corrals it and scores. Now, the dunk would have looked cooler, but that counts for an extra point.
Look how hard Florida State is attacking the rim against NC State. You know, we usually get the Manny Bates conversation in about not having a true shot blocker, but I think E.B. Duana has done a good job defending inside. That was a little heat check.
Yeah, Smith with a little heat check. That one won't go. He's got 3 triples already. Osborne, a dangerous 3-point shooter, left that one short.
And when Sebron rebounds, watch out.
Allen tees one up. That's good. Another assist for Darion Sebron. His 5th one goes to number 5.
You know, Thomas Allen is really starting to play a lot better for NC State. He's making open shots, and that's what he's on the floor to do. Getting his first start of the season.
Transfer from Nebraska. NC State back out in front. 8 different Seminoles have scored, including Butler, who just hit a 3. Rebound to Breon pass. Look out. It's a jump ball. Good defense from Caleb Mills in transition.
Really good D to get back. See, when Sebron goes to that Euro step, it slows him down, and he doesn't want to pick up a charge, so that's why he steps around. It's a good play from behind. Good hustle and transition to get back.
You think that there was some talk in the FSU huddle about how to stop him in transition?
You know what? You got to load up to the ball when he has it in his hands, and you got to make somebody else beat you if you're going against NC State.
Worley had it knocked away. Mills finds it for FSU. Entry to Osborne in the trees. No whistle. Here come the Wolfpack. Sebron right to the hole, and one.
You can forget about it right here. It's like being on an island. Good advance pass up the floor. Sebron takes the contact.
That was one-on-one.
Forget about
number
it.
1 against number 1 Jalen Worley. Yeah, that's a wrap. Sebron with 12 points to lead all scores. Double figures, and now all 14 games this year. Mills pull up.
Beautiful. That is gorgeous. Don't over-penetrate. Pull up and stick the jumper from 15.
Mills averaging above 12 points per game in his first year at FSU.
NC State really small in the backcourt with this lineup on the floor.
Here's pass. The 6-foot freshman. Allen finds Sebron for the slam.
What a great drop off. A terrific baseline cut by Sebron.
Timeout FSU. And Darion Sebron is a problem. You've watched a lot of NC State this year. He's got 14 points, and on the last 2, he's not handling the rock. He goes back door.
I mean, look at the movement by Sebron. As soon as John Butler turns his head and steps up to try to absorb some penetration, it's exactly what you're supposed to do, is back cut. It's a terrific read by Darion.
He's just such a good player. He's only 1 assist away from his season high of 6, which he set Wednesday at Miami.
You don't want to start talking triple-double watch with 5 minutes in the first half, do you?
He does average double-figure rebounds as well. Only guy in the ACC to do that. There's a size mismatch for Osborne against Smith. Turns, baby hook, that's good.
Yeah, Malik Osborne, tough. What a high-energy guy for Leonard Hamilton.
We had a great time talking with him
the other
night. He is a ray of sunshine.
He is a class guy. He's going to be successful no matter what he does.
Smith fires. Short, Osborne the rebound.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of one pass and a shot. I don't think Kevin Keats is either.
Osborne with the left hand, he's fouled and he'll shoot. You'd rather see them move it around a little bit?
Well, I like to see you change sides, especially the way Florida State defends. You got to get them moving. They're so good at, being on the strong side with their defense. And they play up the line, so they're denying one pass away.
Osborne, an 80% free throw shooter, 50, 50, 80 field goals, three-pointers, and free throws, and of course, I jinxed him. Hey, Tuesday on ACC Network in the ESPN app, we've got Georgia Tech and number 2 Duke at Cameron Indoor. Coverage starts at 9 Eastern. Duke's just happy to be back on the floor. Everyone's dealing with some COVID pause issues, including Florida State, 18 days without a game between December 15th and now January 1st.
And that was one of the things we talked to Malik Osborne about, is what did the guys do while you were on that COVID pause with that isolation? And he said when you could go to the gym, we went. When we could play Fortnite together, we did. Did a lot of FaceTime, try to stay connected.
They saw the new Spider-Man movie. Have you seen
That's
it
right.
yet, Debbie?
No, I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it for me.
You've got to fix that. It's so good. It is that good. There's Thomas Allen, who's been shooting it well, matched up with McLeod. Pass right to the rack, and he finishes on the finger roll.
When you got a big on you on the top of the floor, you've got to look to get in the gaps off the bounce. It's a great take right there by Pass.
Mills with 7 in this first half.
Look at that
baseline.
Look at that D right there by Casey Morsell. That ought to get him going.
Here comes Pass. One of the best athletes is denied by Polite. An impolite rejection at the rim. Fletcher goes right back, scores +1. We got a track meet breaking out at PNC Arena.
This is great, back and forth.
We got a back and forth affair in Raleigh. 7 lead changes already. NC State, Florida State. FSU's last play, defense to offense.
I mean, they blocked the basketball into their transition game, and look how quickly they convert to the other end and won. This is a deep Florida State team. They've already played 10 players. 9 average 13 or more minutes. Leonard Hamilton has a really well-connected defensive team. Look at their numbers right here, where they're first in steals, third in blocks. They got the 5th best field goal percentage defense.
What's cool about that blocks per game number is no one on the team averages even 1 per game. It is a group effort protecting the basket. Cameron Fletcher can't convert on the 3-point play. NC State still leads as Matthew Cleveland has the takeaway and the pick 6 as he goes right to the hole.
Pass, telegraphed that, and it was a great read by Matthew Cleveland.
8th lead change of the first half.
Both these coaches have switched up their D, so now Leonard Hamilton went to a 2-2-1 off the free throws. Now they get back into their man-to-man in the quarter court.
Sebron lost it. Fletcher tracks it down. Cleveland was a freight train last time. It's taken away by Allen. Pulls up, left it short.
I think he had Morsell in the corner.
There's Fletcher, another big-time slam for FSU.
When you turn it over or you take a tough, quick shot, Florida State is converting and going the other way too quickly. You're not going to have a chance to get back and set your D. It's a good timeout by Kevin Keats. Allen takes that quick shot, and Florida State is out on the run. Fletcher's leaked out a couple of times.
Looks like a receiver running a go route.
That's why it's so important. You got to move the ball. If you take a quick shot against Florida State's length and their quickness,
it's basically a turnover.
It is a turnover. A bad shot is a turnover. You can't allow those shots to lead to transition opportunities for your opponent.
Cam Fletcher with a couple of big slams already. Florida State came here to PNC Arena and they've staged their own mini dunk contest, attacking the rim on that side of the floor. 6-0 spurt here for the Seminoles in the last minute.
Florida State staying in that 2-2-1, falling back into their man-to-man. Both these coaches like to change it up, coming off of timeouts.
Morcell lost Cleveland.
Look at that ball fake.
Allen, good look, and he buries it.
That's what Thomas Allen's job is, knock down open shots. He's played really well here in the first half.
He's got 3 triples in this first half. Polite fouled, count it.
You cannot sleep on Anthony Polite. He's a lefty, you gotta know the scout. He is a tough competitor. It's a great take right there by Anthony Polite.
Another missed free throw for FSU. 5 for 8 at the stripe today. This is a fun matchup here, Sebron and Polite. Hamilton said Polite might be the best on-ball defender he's had at FSU, which is saying a lot. The help comes, they knock it away. Sebron has it again. Allen has 3 threes already. Morcell can't finish. Cleveland, Fletcher.
Look how well Florida State moves the ball. Wide open.
Polite off the mark. Dewana with the rebound. Hayes kicks it. Sebron on the drive.
So tough.
16 first half points for the redshirt sophomore out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Look how spread the floor is for Florida State. They got shooters in the corner. They open up the middle third for Osborne. It's a well-executed set by Leonard Hamilton's team. See, the last couple of possessions, Drew, NC State's late. They're late on a closeout. They're like a half a pass late on getting high hands on the ball handler. And when you're late and you're trailing those plays, that's when Florida State, with their size and length, they're committed to getting to the rim.
Kevin Keats has been switching up his defense in this first half.
Well, you got to keep changing your D. We saw a switching man to start, then we saw him stick with their players. They've seen some extended pressure. We know that's a part of his DNA as a head coach.
5th season in Raleigh after 3 with UNC Wilmington.
Well, it's part of the reason why they have been so good at turning teams over, is because you're forcing the other team to have to make quick decisions. And you're forcing them to have to read the floor, and you change the look and the read on the floor by changing your defense.
When I think about coaches switching their defenses, I think of Rick Pitino. Keats spent 3 years on his staff at Louisville.
Now we're inside 10. Cam Hayes has the ball on top of the floor. That's what he's got to do right there. Oh, but he overcomes.
Kicked out, but Anthony Polite stepped in to draw the charge.
But you know, that is exactly what Cam Hayes needs to be thinking about, what he should be doing on the top of the floor. Now he's got to make a play off 2 feet, and Anthony Polite does another great job. That's that toughness factor that Polite brings to the floor. It's hard to take him off the court. That's what you want as a player. You want to tell your coach, you're not going to be able to take me off the floor. I'm going to give you everything I got, and that's what Anthony Polite does.
Even at FSU with an 11-man rotation, it is hard to take number 2 off the floor. Polite with it, gives it up to Mills with 8 to shoot. Osborne down low, denied! Dewana comes in and sends it all the way back to Tallahassee.
What recovery. He gets out on the ball screen. It's a soft hedge, but then he comes from behind. That is tremendous hustle by E.B. Dewana.
We saw Manny Bates on the bench, a guy who's led the ACC in block shots each of the past 2 years, but he's out for the season with a shoulder. 2 on the timer. Mills on the catch and shoot. Shot clock violation, which is big, Debbie, because it stops the game clock. 3.1 for the last shot of the first half.
And Kevin Keats thought he traveled, which would have put more time on the clock, so it's worth mentioning it to the officials.
Everything's worth mentioning.
Always.
Sebron to inbound. Gets it into Morcell with 2. Morcell lets it fly. Like it would not have counted anyway, and so FSU takes a 2-point lead to the break. Hope you took the over, folks. 43-41 at halftime. Just a high-level college basketball game in Raleigh. Sebron, the star of the show for the Wolfpack. Knowles with a group effort as always. After the break, we've got the halftime report with Kelsey Riggs, Luke Hancock, and Joel Berry. Stick around. We got a good one in Raleigh.
Welcome into the ACC Network Halftime Report. Alongside Luke Hancock and Joel Berry, I'm Kelsey Riggs. Florida State with the 43-41 lead at the break. Joel, after trailing by as many as 7 early in this game, what did Florida State do to turn things around?
Yeah, you know, they got off to a slow start, but the one thing that they started doing was picking up the pace, especially on the defensive end. You know, they're one of the teams that creates a lot of turnovers, a lot of steals. When they were getting in the lanes and getting steals and getting out open in the break, they were doing a great job of creating shots and creating baskets for themselves. So in the second half, I feel like they need to continue to keep up that pace and keep up that defensive intensity.
Yeah, stylistically, I think you're spot on. Both teams want to play that defense that gets them out in transition, that gets the pressure going. Florida State's done a really good job of kind of a unique way of pressuring NC State. You got a 7'1" center guarding Darion Sebron, bringing the ball up the court, a freshman at that, and they get back in that half court, and Florida State's length and the way they get in those gaps has been incredible on the defensive end. And like you said, Joel, they've been able to get out and get in transition and get some easy baskets. But with NC State, I mean, this is the Darion Sebron show. 6 for 6 from the field, but he has 5 assists as well. He's an unselfish player, as unique a player as we have in the ACC, and he's one of only 4 guys in the entire country averaging a legit double-double. He doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but has off some great ball movement, knocked down a couple open jump shots. I love this guy's game. He's relentless at attacking the basket, wants to push the pressure the entire game. And when you have a running mate like Terquavion Smith, who's been the freshman of the week a few times in the ACC so far, those two as just the two-headed monster for the offense. When they get out in transition, they are incredibly tough to stop.
16 and 9 for Sebron and Smith already in the first half, but NC State trails 2 at the break. We'll see what they're able to do in the second half. New year, same Darion Sebron. Slamming it home. We'll have more from the ACC Network Halftime Report after this.
Basketball is presented by Subway, and we've got a great one. In the first league game of the new year, 43-41, Florida State in a back-and-forth affair against NC State. Wolfpack are in this game thanks to Darion Sebron with 16 points in that first half.
Well, he has not missed a shot from the floor. He's 6 for 6. He's rebounding. He's getting up the court. And when he sees the rim, he is going to finish at the rim. You got to put some bodies in front of him. You got to make him see a couple of jerseys before he gets to the paint. He knocks down his 4th 3 of the season, and then his back cut off. A great pass by Hayes. And Florida State has been attacking the inside. They have getting to the rim. They're doing a great job of offensive rebounding, one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the country. And Sebron is going to have to continue to be aggressive, keep the attack going on the offensive end. And he is doing a great job of facilitating as well.
Check out that points in the paint number. That's a big one. NC State's been outscored in the paint in 5 straight games, 4 of those losses on this 4-game losing streak, trying to flip the script, down by 2 at halftime against a Florida State team that hasn't played in 18 days.
Now, if you're Leonard Hamilton at halftime, you went and you looked at NC State shooting 50% from the floor and 44% from the three-point line. Those numbers aren't good enough. If they're going to win, they're going to have to get after it on the defensive end.
They start with a foul. Terquavion Smith, the true freshman, number 0 for NC State, draws it and That's un-FSU-like. It's kind of been a common theme of this early season for Florida State. Leonard Hamilton has said some teams have out-Florida Stated Florida State.
Well, Terquavion sets up his ability off the bounce because he's made 3 triples in the first half.
Helms is fouled on the attack, and he will shoot 2. Foul goes against Caleb Mills for Florida State.
And if you're NC State, you can see the first 2 possessions, right? They're not settling for a jump shot. They're looking to get inside. They're trying to attack the rim as well. Points in the paint will be important, as you mentioned.
2 fouls in 19 seconds in the second half. Jericho Helms, the senior from St. Louis, knocks down the first free throw.
Went over the 1,000-point mark in the Miami game with 24 points.
Raekwon Evans runs the show for Florida State. First offensive possession here in the second half.
NC State doing a good job of switching. You see Terquavion Smith fronting the post.
Smith gives up a lot of size against Osborne, but a great defensive start to the half for NC State as they force a turnover. 7 turnovers against the Seminoles today.
Looking to trap.
Sebron escapes, shovels. Dewana wasn't ready for it, and they trade turnovers.
You know, it was almost a charge. Sebron's got to be really careful. You want him to stay aggressive, and he can stay aggressive because he only has that 1 foul in the first half. But you don't want to pick up an early one.
It's the 9th turnover of the game against NC State. FSU's opponents cough it up about 18 times per game, one of the best in the country. Polite was terrific in the first half. In the lane, bumped, no whistle. Another fight for the rebound, and Sebron comes away with it. Smith for 3. Bullseye!
That is a great play by Thomas Allen because he could have pulled up and took a quick one. Instead, he shifts sides of the floor. Transition defense is equally as hard to guard as off the bounce.
Mills missed it off glass. 2-on-2 for the Wolfpack. Smith in transition. Finger roll goes.
And the way you see Terquavion Smith, how excited he gets, he's like that in practice every day.
His high school coach and his college coach, Kevin Keatse, is one of the most competitive guys they've been around. John Butler from the baseline. No, Sebron, another rebound for NC State. Allen again pulls up. Quick trigger on that 3. Nine different Noles have scored. Raekwon Evans is not one of them. Here's Mills with 7 points. Butler stepped on the end line. That's the 3rd time that's happened to Florida State.
See Terquavion Smith doing a great job right here, running the floor hard, running it wide, makes it more challenging for Florida State in their transition defense, and then he gets all the way to the rim the next time.
Timeout on the floor. We'll take one as well. NC State leads by 4. Back at PNC Arena in Raleigh, where NC State trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, and Thomas Allen is helping them do it here in his first start of the season against FSU, carrying some momentum over from Wednesday.
18 points in the first 10 games, 13 the other night at Miami. He's got 9 so far. And I think his decision-making has been pretty good. There's a couple of things that probably on film Kevin Keatse can clean up with Thomas Allen. I mean, he is a 5th-year senior. He should understand how to play the game. But as long as you put winning over everything else, then you know you're going to have a chance to have success.
Kevin Keatse is a winner.
Kevin's a winner. I think most of his players are too.
Sebron matched up with Osborne.
See, I'm not always sure you need to bring a screen to Sebron.
Smith hit with the charge. Good defense from Jalen Worley.
That's what's so impressive about Florida State's defense. They can block shots, but they also are terrific at protecting the rim with their rotations. That's a tremendous defensive play. But again, like Sebron, late shot clock, I'm not sure he needs a screen. He can get by anybody. Why bring two defenders to him in the middle of the floor? Let him go to work one-on-one. Because he's capable at 6'7", getting to the paint, seeing over the top of most defenses to be able to make a play.
NC State miscommunication defensively leads to Osborne's deuce.
Really good weak side action. Keep the other side of the floor occupied. You play down the lane line for Florida State.
9 points from Malik Osborne. Tops on FSU today. Jericho Helms. Polite was too handsy on the man-to-man D.
Look for Sebron to get it right back after he inbounds it.
Ted Valentine reminding Cameron Fletcher, hey, you can't be that tight against the inbounder. Polite hits the bench with 2 fouls. Matthew Cleveland replaces him. Here's Terquavion Smith, the true freshman, with 14 points today. Watched by his fellow freshman Jalen Worley.
Florida State's defense is so good underneath that baseline out of bounds plays that Kevin Keats twice has thrown it over the top instead of trying to run a play.
And it leads to a bucket for Jericho Helms. Out of bounds against Jalen Worley. It's another turnover for the Seminoles. Their 9th of the game. Wolfpack lead by 4.
Well, it's a great start to the second half for NC State. They've been attacking the rim, and on the defensive end, they're switching in their man-to-man. Now watch DeWanna right in the middle of the floor. He's calling the switch. He picks up Mills. Look at the high hands, the active feet. It allows Terquavion Smith to get up the line a little bit, forces that turnover. DeWanna is part of the reason why Kevin Keats can switch 1 through 5, because he's got a 5-man that can guard perimeter players.
It's not been an easy season for Kevin Keats. They lost probably the best defensive player in the ACC in Manny Bates in the first minute of the season. They're piecing it together with, seems like a new defensive strategy today.
Well, and I think not just Manny Bates' ability to block shots, but you know, you can have some bad habits on the perimeter when you have a shot blocker, and you can't have those bad habits anymore when you don't have them. As Sebron drives to the basket, he gets to that right hand, forget about it.
7 for 7 from the floor today. He's up to 18 points, which matches his average.
But Drew, you know what? The other thing about Manny Bates is he was a 65% finisher at the rim. So he's a rim runner, a putback, and a drop-off guy. He could score inside.
Mills with a crafty lefty finish, up to 9 points.
Florida State can come at you in so many different ways. 8 different players have scored in the game.
Smith. Sebron did make a 3 earlier today.
Just like spread it out. Like Sebron, I like him on the top of the floor for NC State.
And no screen necessary for this guy to get ahead of steam.
They run the pass-through screen. He's making a play.
Smith for 3. Helms got a hand on it. Worley comes away with it, but steps on the baseline.
Let me tell you something, Drew. There is a direct correlation between assisted baskets and offensive rebounding percentage. If you're a high assist-to-basket ratio team, then that means you're taking shots that you're supposed to take. It allows you to get to the boards. That's a tremendous hustle play right there. If you take quick shots, it's hard to rebound.
Thomas Allen pulls up, left it short.
That's not a good shot. That's a contested 3.
And they're one and done. FSU turns it right back over, though. Sebron knocked away by Worley, and it's Florida State basketball.
I think Darian Sebron gets going so fast. When you see his change of direction, it's when he Euro steps and he really slows down. He's got tremendous body control.
11 turnovers apiece. Evenly matched game. Both teams shooting 51% from the floor. Wolfpack lead by 4.
Yeah, I think Osborne needs to get a touch.
Fletcher right to the hole, finishes with the left.
A great take by Cameron Fletcher. I still think next time down the floor, Osborne, they need to play through him. Give him a touch on the low block and let him go to work inside.
There's that switching defense. Out of bounds, 12th turnover against NC State today.
See, NC State switches to contain, but Florida State will switch to steal. This is a great take, switches hands. Nice finish by Fletcher. That's the difference right there, switching to steal, right? Create the turnover, create a little more havoc. When you switch, you're in the passing lane, switching, trying to make a play.
As opposed to switching to contain,
Switching to contain, stay in the gap, keep him in front.
Fletcher throws it away. Helter-skelter now, 12 turnovers for each team. And Leonard Hamilton says, you gotta be kidding. NC State usually very sure-handed with the basketball. They only cough it up under 10 times per game. Allen up and under. Here comes Cleveland.
Look at them
bounces
run.
it. Fletcher slams on the brakes and scores. 11 points for Cameron Fletcher. First guy in double figures for FSU. 9 lead changes today.
They run the floor hard.
This is the 3rd tie of the game as well. Fletcher, by the way, one off his career high. Helms probing, and he's fouled.
Cameron Fletcher in the open floor. Florida State runs hard, good fake, great finish. And then Jericho Helms plays at his pace. It might not always be explosive or extremely quick, but it's effective. And he's coming off a 24-point game, and he's let the game come to him tonight.
Folks, coming up after our game, Buddy Boeheim and Syracuse hosting Virginia at the Carrier Dome right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. See the 2-3 against the pack line? That's always fun if you love basketball.
First one to 50 wins that one.
Yeah. If you like defense, you're going to want to stick around after this game where we have a lot of points. It was 43-41 at halftime. Both teams above 50. And before a 5-second violation against Fletcher and FSU, it's a timeout for Leonard Hamilton. And now for today's game refresh, brought to you by Subway. Cameron Fletcher, the transfer from Kentucky, with 11 points to lead all Seminoles.
He has been terrific in the open floor. He has been aggressive to the rim. He's got size at 6'7". Does a nice job of faking that handoff, that dribble handoff. And then when he runs ahead of the ball in transition, he's going to put it down.
He's got the rock now against Helms.
Florida State's intensity has picked up.
Evans tried to split that double team, and the foul goes against Cam Hayes. Kevin Keats cannot believe it. They ice the screen, Polite, baseline. Out to Evans with 10 to shoot. Cleveland corrals, puts back his own miss, And Helms comes out with it. One-on-one. Jericho Helms is fouled.
That's a great effort right there by Helms. You know, and honestly, I anticipated seeing a couple of possessions of zone from NC State. They worked on it yesterday. And Helms right here, tough rebound. Gets all the way to the rim to the free throw line. But I thought, you know, two of the games that Florida State lost. One was South Carolina, where Frank Martin played some zone, and it caused some problems for Florida State. And then they also lost to Syracuse, and you know Syracuse is playing zone.
Yes.
I think Kevin Keats might be holding on to it for a little bit here.
Something to keep an eye on. We'll see if NC State goes to zone.
You don't want to play all your cards in the first half, right? If you do, then you give them a chance to prepare or adjust at halftime. One-on-one.
Out to Polite for three. Cleveland yanks down the offensive rebound, missed the putback. Polite. Taken away by Hayes. Tracks it down. Swatted away by Evans. Not a goaltend, and the fans at PNC are going nuts. You be the judge.
I thought it was hit the backboard first, but that's how quick it happens.
We just had a meet me at the summit moment between Cam Hayes and Raekwon Evans. Hayes with the steal, great anticipation, but now it's a race to the rim, and this was not called goaltending.
Well, I thought it hit the backboard, but it doesn't. But I definitely think it's on its way down. So Wolfpack Nation didn't like it, but NC State retains possession. Because Cam Hayes drew a foul down here in the corner.
Right, and it was the fourth on Evans, by the way. Hayes feeds Morcell. Stripped away, corralled by pass, can't score it. Helms has it, kicks it out, pass for three. Bingo!
He had an exceptional practice yesterday, did Breon Pass. Great energy, coachable, can apply the coaching. And this is a small lineup on the floor for NC State with Helms at the 4.
Osborne tries to take advantage, can't score, but he is fouled by Dewana.
In a crowd, Helms comes up with a traffic rebound and kicks it out. Nice job by Pass to spot up in the corner.
Breon Pass is a freak athlete. He was an amazing high school football player. He got 48 touchdowns. Osborne knocks down the first free throw. Hey, don't forget, we've got a great women's college basketball matchup for you tomorrow. Number 3 Louisville and number 16 Georgia Tech. Coverage starts right here at noon Eastern on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Two really good defensive teams. I am an AP poll voter, and Louisville will move to the top line for me at number 1 if they win this game. South Carolina on the women's side got upset by Missouri on the road earlier this week.
That was a phenomenal game. Good Polite picking up Hayes right at midcourt. Polite all over it. Helms there too. Osborne cleans it up for FSU. Here they come. Cleveland on the run. Osborne steps in rhythm, bullseye.
Yeah, Malik Osborne coming out of the timeout. Back-to-back opportunities. Last one, they went to him inside. This time he hits the trail 3. And Cam Hayes can't throw that flat lateral pass. It's too flat, it's too slow. And this is an up-the-line team. One pass away, Florida State's in the line, passing line.
That time Worley a little too physical. Again, Sebron knocks him over. It's his second foul.
This is just a tremendous job. When you push the ball all the way to the rim, you flatten out the defense, you open up the top of the floor. Malik Osborne takes advantage. A 50% three-point shooter from the 5 position for Leonard Hamilton.
He's rounded out his game so
good.
well.
He's a smart, analytic, but plays with great instinct inside. He understands their defensive concepts, and he's a tremendous team leader for Leonard Hamilton.
NC State shooting 1-1 with more than 10 minutes to play in regulation. Darion Sebron up to 19 points, eclipsing his season average of 18.6, which is 4th best in the ACC.
With this smaller lineup on the floor, now Sebron moves to the 4 with Gibson out there for NC State. Florida State was playing a little too much east and west. They need to play a little bit more north and south here in the quarter court.
Osborne with back-to-back triples. That was not exactly an open shot.
Oh, you know he has to have the ball in his hands. I was calling for it a couple of timeouts ago.
Osborne with 17 to lead the Seminoles. Sebron, extra, Helms. 4 different Seminoles in there for the defensive rebound. Matthew Cleveland, the prized recruit out of Atlanta. Head of steam, fouled on the deck.
That's a smart take. He knows he's got a mismatch, so he pulls the ball back out to the top of the floor and drags Jalen Gibson with him and then attacks his hip.
Jalen Worley, another jewel of that recruiting class. Osborne's got the hot hand. Working on Jalen Gibson. Turns. Ooh, that's fancy off glass, but it won't go.
I love that Leonard Hamilton finds a hot hand and he keeps going to it.
Gibson got a little too fancy.
What is he doing dribbling the ball that much is what most of the people in the building want to know.
14th turnover against NC State. Polite can't cash in.
Darion Sebron on the top of the floor is the most dangerous part of NC State's offense. In the quarter court, they're terrific in transition.
Here he is, top of the key. Now matched up with Osborne, steps back. He's only made 4 threes this year. One of them was in the first half, though. Cleveland against Gibson again. Takes advantage of the mismatch and scores with a soft touch.
Yeah, Kevin Keats has got to get him out, and here comes Duwana.
Hate to beat the dead horse, but it's tough not having Manny Bates out there. Thin in the front court. Smith, deep 3. Osborne downhill. Cleveland can't handle that fastball. Smith keeps it inbound.
See how all the black jerseys load to the ball when Sebron has it? They make him pull it back out.
Still got through, and it's a foul on the deck against FSU. Seminoles back out in front. Osborne leading the charge. What a game.
Florida State with a 1-point lead, and Justin Lindner is a 6th-year senior who this year was offered a scholarship after he was offered a job to coach. He wants to be a coach. This was his keys to the game today. I think he's right on it with his teammates, and they have a lot of respect for him. Over the summer, Malik Osborne told us Coach Ham had an extra scholarship, and he and Cameron Fletcher begged Coach to give it to Justin Lindner, who plays as a member of the green team, which is their scout team. Now, if you see Florida State's roster, they've got 19 players on the roster. They count on the scout team as a really important part of Leonard Hamilton's preparation, but Justin Lindner had a coaching job offer, a Division II school, Mississippi College, and he came back and accepted his 6th year on scholarship. But the dude's got an applied math degree, psychology degree, a master's of sports management. He's got a certificate in coaching. He's getting his full advantage of his education at Florida State.
Whatever he said in the huddle worked there as Raekwon Evans goes to the hole and scores. His first bucket of the day, 9 different Seminoles on the score sheet, and they lead by 3. Lindner is such a cool story, part of those green team Vipers, which I think have gotten more pub, rightfully so, than maybe any scout team in the history of the sport.
Well, if you watch him in practice, Justin would stand out because he can ball and he can talk.
Sebron to the rack, 8 for 8 from the floor. Darion Sebron, check that, 8 for 9 now. He has missed 1 in the second half, still efficient.
That downhill effort, so crafty. Doesn't need much space.
Mills has been quiet in the second half. Cleveland kicks it out, tries to change it. Wyatt Wilkes knocked out the offensive rebound. Cleveland right to the hole. Count it plus the foul. There's Justin Lindner.
I mean, does he use his off arm to hold off the shot blocker? Maybe, but he's going to the free throw line. Great take.
He had to ward off Ebenezer Duwana, who's 4th in the ACC in block shots, 2.5 per game.
So many different ways and weapons this Florida State team has to make winning plays.
Sebron pocket pass. It's denied by Cleveland. Matthew Cleveland making his presence felt, the true freshman out of Pace Academy in Atlanta.
What a second half for Cameron Fletcher and Matthew Cleveland. Both have been active and aggressive. This is a tremendous play at the rim.
There's a foul against Sebron, so FSU back with it with a 3-point lead under 6 to play at PNC Arena. Wilkes, good feed. Cleveland with the finish.
What a pass. So Leonard Hamilton puts Wyatt Wilkes on the floor because he's a guy he trusts in a late game situation.
Timeout, Kevin Keats. Florida State has built its largest lead of the day thanks to Matthew Cleveland.
And this is the time inside the game for NC State over the last 4 that has been tough for them to be able to finish games. So they've got to be able to finish this game off. They've got to get stops, and you've got to create some space for Darion Sebron to be able to get to the rim.
You know, NC State Wednesday at Miami in their 4th game of a 4-game losing streak, led by 8 in the second half. Miami went on an 18-2 run down the stretch and handed the Wolfpack their 4th straight loss.
This is where you cannot have any game slippage. Okay, your details have to be good. Your guard play can't turn it over. You've got to keep Florida State in front defensively and make them make shots, not let them get to the rim. And you've got the bonus. You're going to the free throw line. You've got to be aggressive off the bounce. And again, NC State has been inbounding the basketball into the backcourt instead of trying to run a play against Florida State's defense.
Let's keep an eye out for that NC State zone, Debbie. We talked about it earlier. Maybe they bust it out here, down by 5. Sebron, man, he is a slasher and a killer.
Especially when he can get to that right hand.
Sebron's limping a little bit out there and grimacing. Still got 24 points on 9 of 10. Here he is in transition. In front of Wilkes. Count it! Whistle blows.
They got an intentional foul out there.
Yeah.
See, we don't have a clear path foul in college basketball. Does Wilkes grab him from behind? See, I think he's making a play on the ball. I don't. Sebron getting to the rim, and then one official has a foul, the other official has intentional, and they're going to go look at it. I didn't think there was anything excessive there. I thought Wilkes was making a play on the ball. And you know what? I mean, Sebron, it's called putting him in jail when you try to put him on your hip in transition. So I'm dribbling to initiate a little contact just so I can slow you down.
The old Chris Paul move right there.
Sebron looks, see, he cuts into the path of Wilkes. There you see from that angle, he grabbed his hips.
Bert Smith came in immediately and put up the X to signal the intentional foul. Ted Valentine making sure everything is in line. The basket is good.
Yeah, it's not they go to the monitor to look at it. If you don't put the intentional foul on it, you can't take a look at it.
Goes down as a common foul. Darion Sebron will shoot to try to tie this game. Inside the arc, he has been perfect.
I think that's the right call by the officials. What was a 5-point deficit because NC State stayed aggressive. Now they've got it back to even.
Sebron erased it on his own. 5 straight points. Up to 27 today.
They're clearing it out.
Mills against Dewana. Fouled on the floor. Shot won't count. But they are going to shoot 1 and 1 after the 4th foul against Ebenezer Dewana.
Yeah, I love the play call by Leonard Hamilton because NC State is switching. You get a big on Mills and Dewana, and as good as Dewana moves his feet at his size at 6'11", they don't bring a screen and they let Mills go one-on-one.
Mills is the best free throw shooter on this roster, 86% coming in into double figures today with 10 points.
The depth and the toughness of Florida State are part of the reasons why they were picked to finish second in the ACC.
Offensive rebounding helps too. Second best team in the league, and that behind only NC State. That time Cameron Fletcher tracked it down.
Yeah, you cannot give up an offensive rebound on a missed free throw at any point in the game, but particularly late.
4 to shoot for Anthony Polite. Has to force it. Fletcher with another offensive rebound. Again, they bleed the shot clock. Down to 5 for Evans against Helms. Finds Fletcher, who scores. A new career-high 13 points for Cameron Fletcher.
Great cut off the ball by Fletcher. Good read. You got to jump to the ball. Make him cut behind you, not in front of your face.
Here's a reset for Darion Sebron, 27 points. On the attack, and the Euro! It's pure.
They've been bringing that pass through or that ghost screen all game in the middle third, and he takes advantage of it by playing off the backside of Helms. It's a great take. It's a tremendous read at such a fast pace.
Right. He's always in the top gear. Evans is fouled. FSU leads by 1. ACC Network Basketball is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway. Ebenezer Duana has fouled out with 3 minutes and 15 seconds to play. An NC State team that is thin in the front court. You see Manny Bates just to the right. So they bring in Jalen Gibson for the last 3:15 against this dangerous Florida State team.
Well, Jalen Gibson has played about 8 minutes in this game. 1 rebound and not a shot. And he is going to have to really be able to get down in a stance. And let's see what NC State does defensively. Because when Gibson was on the floor before and they were switching, Florida State was taking advantage of that matchup. I was talking about the zone before, and I know Kevin Keats worked on it yesterday. You couldn't play the zone when you were down 5. You got to look the push right here.
Raekwon Evans goes 2 for 2 at the line. FSU will shoot 1 and 1. NC State in the double bonus.
Helms at the 4.
Sebron's got 29 points. Kicks it out. Terquavion Smith for 3. We're tied in Raleigh.
What a play by Sebron. What a shot by Smith.
Evans wasting no time. Off the heel. Ball squirts out of bounds, and it stays here with the Seminoles.
Look at Kevin Keats is all the way past midcourt, and Teddy Valentine's going to chase him back into the coaching box. That ball went off Helm's heel, I believe. And we're not inside the period of time where you can review.
Malik Osborne takes an extra beat before he gets up. This is the 5th tie of the game. We've had 10 lead changes. And this was the one that tied it, Terquavion Smith.
I thought that was a veteran coaching move by Teddy Valentine to not do anything to Kevin Keats because he was past midcourt on the floor. He chased him back to the box.
Just sort of shepherded him back.
Yeah, helped him back. Showed him back to his proper real estate. Well, we haven't seen that Iverson cut all game.
Fletcher with a career high 13. Can't finish with the left. Sebron in control for NC State. 29 points already, and he's fouled. Sebron goes into the scorer's table.
So quick. And the reason why Terquavion Smith was open the last time down the floor, Drew, is because Sebron draws all the attention now. So everyone needs to be ready to catch and shoot, because when he gets in the paint, they are collapsing inside and trying to force him to become a passer.
Sebron with 30. Hey folks, Tuesday on ACC Network and the ESPN app, Georgia Tech and number 2 Duke at Cameron Indoor. Late night stay up with us. Coverage starts at 9. Smith fought for the offensive rebound. Fletcher comes away with it for FSU. Raekwon Evans right to the rack.
Taking advantage of a matchup on the floor that they can score on, quickly recognizing that. Great take by Evans. Such a high IQ offensively, this Florida State team.
He didn't score in the first half. He's got 6 in the second. Sebron attacks and scores.
Oh my goodness.
Dude's unstoppable. 32 points.
Everybody knows he's going to the bucket, and they can't stop him.
Here's a guy who averaged 5 points per game last year. Averaging almost 19 this season. He's over 30 today. Mills, left hand, yes, plus the foul.
You know, we haven't seen Ernest Ross all game, and with Duana out, by my count, this is not going to look pretty in film tomorrow for Jalen Gibson. But Sebron, what a game.
Sebron is 12 for 13. He's above 30 for the second time in his career. He had 39 in that 4 overtime classic against Nebraska when he played 57 minutes. We could be in for OT again today here in Raleigh.
This is part of having a young team, an inexperienced team, and your top 2 players. Devin Daniel not back from injury last year, opted not to come back, and then the injury to Manny Bates. You're playing with freshmen, you're playing with a younger group. And the Florida State experience showing here in the late game situation.
So as NC State goes back to the huddle here, Debbie, what do you think they draw up? Just get it to 1 and let them attack?
I think everyone has to be ready to catch and shoot because he is drawing the defense to the paint. You are going to be wide open. He's 6'7", he can see over the top. He can get to the middle of the floor anytime. He's got to make a play off 2 feet so he doesn't draw a charge. He's got to make a good decision with the ball in his hands. If you notice, Kevin Keats doesn't bring a screen to him. They run that pass-through or that ghost screen. They've been running that all game.
That's what you've been saying all day. He doesn't need a screen. Why bring the extra defender?
Well, if you run that pass-through, it creates some confusion because Florida State likes to switch. That's why they keep running that set. NC State's been in this situation in most of their losses this year. The last 4, the Wright State game, the Miami game.
Keep in mind, they went to overtime against #1 Purdue in Brooklyn. That started this 4-game skid. Sebron matched up with Mills. There's that ghost screen. 10 to shoot. He's got 32 points today. Darion Sebron deep in his bag, missed the 2-pointer. Helms has it on the deck, and it's a jump ball. It'll go to the Seminoles. That was the first 2-point basket Sebron has missed today. He was 12 for 12 before that.
That's incredible. I mean, he has totally carried NC State to this point, especially in the late game. Now you can't get beat over the top. You got to make Florida State come back to the ball. You've got to be able to defend here without fouling, and you have to close it out with a rebound.
Look at Osborne bringing it across half court. FSU's 5-man double team, and it is a foul.
You know, and I like Kevin Keats gets Gibson off the floor, so he has 5 guards on the floor where he can switch.
Not sure about that foul call.
There you see a hook.
Yep, went against Helms, his 3rd foul. 2 shots from Malik Osborne, both teams in the double bonus. Redshirt senior is 5 for 6 at the stripe today.
He's taking the entire Florida State coaching staff, all 4 of them huddled over there together trying to figure out who to put in, who's going to guard Sebron. How are we going to make somebody else make a play for NC State?
Stan Jones, the associate head coach in his 20th year with Leonard Hamilton.
C.Y. Young and Steve Smith, the other 2 assistants. Stan Jones has been with Coach Ham for a long time, so is C.Y. Young.
Osborne, by the way, up to 19 points. That's a new season high. He scored 18 in each of the first 2. 4-point edge for FSU.
You do not need a 3 here. You need a bucket.
Sebron kicks it. Smith for 3. Bingo!
Got to be ready to catch and shoot. You play good D right here. You got to finish it with a rebound. NC State continues to switch in their defense. Coach Ham's probably going to go right here with about 8 on the shot clock.
Mills milks it. Here's the screen from Osborne. Mills with 5. Pulls up from the line. No good. Rebound Cleveland, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. The true freshman comes up large on the offensive glass.
you have got to box out. You cannot let your player get to the rim. NC State doesn't get all their boxes, didn't get everybody checked out.
2 shots. It's that small lineup for NC State. They want to pick up full court and give up the offensive rebound.
Well, I think Coach Keats had to. Otherwise, Jalen Gibson was going to get taken to the basket. So right here, NC State with 1 timeout remaining. And with a young team, I'm thinking Kevin Keats is going to probably use it. Let's see.
Still a 2-point game. They have 1 timeout, and they call it as Sebron enters the front court.
Yep, I agree with the timeout. I think you have to call it.
Let's go into the studio and check in with Kelsey Riggs.
Kelsey Riggs with this studio update. And guys, you're watching a great game there, but we will have the start of Virginia-Syracuse coming your way after the conclusion of this one right now. Check it out on the ESPN app, ACCNX. Looking forward to the end of this one, Drew and Debbie.
All right, back here in Raleigh, NC State with the ball, down by 2. What do you think they draw up here?
Well, they've been inbounding the ball into the backcourt. That gives Darion Sebron a chance to get a running start. That's when he's best. You know, and it's hard to give him a cushion. They're going to gap it up. They're going to make somebody else beat him. But NC State needs to take it hard to the paint. They need to try to get to the rim and score, get to the free throw line. Florida State's going to switch on everything anyway. Getting the ball inbounds is the key part right here. NC State does not have a timeout. And I do like the timeout for Kevin Keats. Before the free throw was shot, I said he's going to call it. He's a young team. You can't always trust these guys late. We've seen what's happened in the last couple of games. They have had trouble closing off games. So you call that timeout, make sure everyone is on the same page, plus you get the right players on the floor in case you wanted to make a substitution. But you got to go quickly and you got to crash the glass hard.
For Florida State defensively, what do you think that conversation is now?
Big on the ball, out of bounds, switching on everything, making NC State pull up and hit a jump shot. Try not to let Sebron catch it. I would not let him catch the ball.
We had a good conversation with Leonard Hamilton about how you defend a guy like Darion Sebron, where you know what you're going to get. I mean, he's going to line it up from 40 feet from the basket and drive you. He said, we don't really change what we do for anyone.
No, they're very much a gap protection on the weak side, and they're an up the line, strong side defense on ball side. And they're a very good rotation team. You got to attack hard. You got to go hard off the bounce here.
This has been a classic. First game of the new year, NC State trying to snap a 4-game skid. Florida State trying to win for the first time in almost 3 weeks.
Anthony Polite's job is to not let Sebron catch it, but I'm sure NC State's going to throw it into the backcourt here.
There's that double team. Fletcher face guarding.
They're going to double Sebron.
He still catches it. No, he doesn't. Fletcher with the takeaway. Now they're going to milk it. And it's a foul against NC State with 4.6. Fletcher will shoot.
I mean, you had to get the ball in bounds.
What a play by Cameron Fletcher.
There are 2 guys guarding Sebron and 3 guys underneath the basket. Somebody had to cut to the ball.
14 points for Cameron Fletcher. That is a career high. Timeout, Florida State.
Well, now you got to talk about Florida State missing this shot and what you're going to run for a 3. NC State's only option is to shoot a 3. Now, if he makes this, it's a 2-possession game over. But if he misses, Florida State's got to make NC State come back to the ball, not let them catch it going up the court. Watch the 3 players under the basket by NC State. They're all standing. Sebron's being double teamed. And that's where, as a basketball player, you just got to make a play. You got to know that you got to cut to the ball and get open and get the ball in bounds.
16th turnover of the day against NC State. Looked like they had something dialed up for when Sebron caught the ball, but Florida State just didn't let him. Trademark depth and balance for FSU. 4 different guys in double figures. 9 of the 10 who have seen the floor have scored. There's a huge free throw coming up for Cameron Fletcher. Came in as a 57% foul shooter, only 4 for 7 from the line this entire season. He's 1 for 2 today.
You know, the other thing, too, is give Florida State some credit right there. Fletcher looked like he was going to be guarding on the ball, and right before the official handed it,
he missed it. Fight for the rebound, and a foul against the Wolfpack. Ted Valentine calls it against Casey Morsell of NC State. Watch 14 in white. He actually, I think he called it on Helms, number 4.
Let's take another look at this.
Yeah.
Well, Helms
with that hook. Matthew Cleveland hits them both. 5-point advantage. Shot at the buzzer does count for NC State, and that could be a significant bucket. But FSU is going to win regardless. They'll look at the 3 for Smith from half court. But the Seminoles, no matter what, come into Raleigh and win in their first game they've played since December 18th. What a win for FSU. The final score, FSU 83, NC State 81. Now let's send it to Virginia versus Syracuse with Mike Monaco and Dan Bonner on the call. For Debbie Antonelli and our entire crew, I'm Drew Carter signing off from Raleigh. Happy New Year, folks.